Good morning, friends and fellow traders. This is Doug Campbell with Right Way Options, and this is the Morning Market Prep video for June 10th, 2024. Well, on Friday, we had a little bit of a rough day in the market, a little bit of pullback, a little bit of selling, but no particular concerns just yet. Let's take a look at what happened overnight. First off, Asian markets, there were some Asian markets closed overnight, but we ended up finishing kind of mixed on the Asian markets overnight. If we take a look at European markets, however, European markets are decidedly lower across the board this morning. So we'll want to be keeping an eye on that as we progress into the open of the day. And then if we take a look at U.S. futures are a little bit lower here this morning. Now they have bounced off of lows of the night already, trying to get a little pre-market pump going on, so keep a close eye on that. If we take a real quick look, oil this morning, oil kind of flat on actual oil futures, but we've got Brent just ever so slightly higher. Natural gas is a little bit higher this morning as well. If we take a look at precious metals, boy, gold had a rough day on Friday, dropping hard, but that was because we saw the dollar rallying. If we take a look at UUP was up sharply on Friday due to those jobs numbers, inspiring buying into the bonds, raising those rates. And that had that negative effect on gold. Gold this morning is also down this morning. Interestingly enough, we got silver, copper, and platinum just slightly higher this morning, while palladium is still lower. And then the cryptos are also reacting negatively to the strong dollar here as it continues to push up here this morning. And the reason it is continuing to push up is because those bond yields are continuing to go up. The 2-year bonds are at 4.89%, the 10 years at 4.46%, and the 30-year is at 4.58%. So what does all that mean for today? Well, how about we settle in? Let's buckle up. Let's get ready for the Monday edition of the Morning Market Prep video. Good morning once again, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. I definitely appreciate it. I know you have lots of things to do in the morning, and just the fact that you spend a little bit of time with me is very, very humbling. So thank you so much. Let's try and take a look at these charts and gain a little bit of information about how we approach the market for today. Remember, everyone, that what we want to do is we want to shake off our bias here. We want to look at the charts for what they are, not for what we want them to be. Well, first off, I had mentioned on Friday that we had that possibility that we could create a lower high here in the chart. And I think that's what we've done at the moment. We have a shooting star, little spinning top doji shooting star pattern here. And we reacted directly at that resistance area of the chart. We ran up, touched that resistance, turned around. That jobs number adding some pressure to the markets and concern as we progress through this week. The concerns with some more data on inflation could be raising a little bit of uncertainty. If we were to see the bears continue to follow through to the downside, well, what I would be looking for is I would be looking for that push right down into here on this next area of price support to see if we can hold that area. Now, breaking down through that area could be kind of critical. There is some price support, as you can see, right through here that we'd want to be watching for. Beyond that, it gets pretty dicey. And that possibility that we start taking out this recent low. Now remember, if we were to take out this recent low with a lower high and the stock making a lower low, that confirms a potential downtrend. So we'll want to be watching that pretty closely here in the Dow. Now, if those bulls find inspiration today, and every reason to believe that they could, pushing up here today, you could see that possibility that we could come back up here, retest this resistance in the chart. And if we can break through there, well, then we're going to try to push on higher, test these other resistance areas in the chart. Let's take a look at our SPY quick. SPY, nothing wrong here, but maybe a little bit of uncertainty. We've got consolidation going on here. We tried to push on up. We created new record highs on the SPY on Friday and then gave it all back up and pushed back down into this support area of the chart. But the good news is we did not break that. So it is entirely possible what we've got going on here is this is just a consolidation range that could be setting up above that support area in the chart. And if the bulls can continue to find inspiration here, particularly in those tech giants, the Mag 7 doing the majority of the work in the SPY, and we'll look at a reason why that is really starting to show some prevalence here. But notice that that consolidation in here, if those bulls can keep pushing, if we can hold on to this trend, bounce off of that price support, then the bulls have blue sky above and that possibility of more record highs. If the bears were to find some inspiration here today, then dropping down below this area might start to raise a little bit of concern. But you notice we've got a really good price support right in there along that trend. So holding in there would probably be no particular issue overall. A push down below that, however, would probably start to raise some concerns. There's some good support in here on that area, but that would break that trend. And even down below here, we might actually start raising a little bit of concern or fear in the market, which we haven't seen for some time. Now, if we take a look at our QQQ, also just resting sideways here, a little bit of a shooting star pattern coming in there on Friday. We made record highs and then pulled it back, catching some support in here and holding. We're in great shape. So once again, that possibility that we could just consolidate sideways here would be a very, very bullish thing for the Qs to do. We're still well away from our trend as well. And so every reason to believe if we can find that inspiration, we could start popping up here and continuing to make record highs in the Qs. However, if those bears were to come in and find a little inspiration, breaking this price support wouldn't probably be that big of a worry. We've got nice little support area right in here to be hanging on to, as well as this upside trend. It would be breaking this area that would create some concern here in the market and maybe pushing us back down toward this area price support. Now, I will say that area price support is really strong the NASDAQ. So pushing down in there, I would expect some, if we do, I would expect some bounce off of that area. Let's take a look at our IWM. Now the Russell also showing weakness here, and unfortunately we tried to bounce back up and recover from a gap down open on Friday, and it just didn't have enough energy. We ended up giving it all back. We may be confirming this downtrend starting to happen in here, because you'll notice we did take out the last low here in that chart, showing a little bit of bearishness here. We've got some price support down in this area if the bears were to continue to push. Watch carefully for that, and if we start breaking through those areas, then we'll start looking a little bit more closely at this little congestion area in the chart, trying to pick through some of these levels in here before we come back down and maybe test this trend support here in the chart. Now, if the bulls were to find inspiration, well, the first thing that they need to do is they need to break back through that resistance in the chart. Get back up through there. And once we break up above there, if we can get back through, then we'll start looking at some of these levels up in here. There's a lot of congestion right in this area. See if we could push up into here, and then, of course, right back on up. But unfortunately, this does look like a downtrend has been confirmed here in the IWM, so be kind of careful. Let's take a look at our VIX. Now our VIX, while this was going on and that sell-off was coming in here, pushing things back down, very interesting to see that the VIX is registering a zero fear. As a matter of fact, fear is declining. Something is really strange here. And I think a lot of this has to do with the super high frequency trading that the market has been involved in, the 0 day to expiration options that are really clouding what's happening here in this index. We'll want to watch this closely though, because if the bulls can continue to push this on lower, you can see we could come right back down here, test some of these recent lows in the CBOE, and well, I have to tell you, I think we're very, very complacent at the moment. So be really careful here. If the bears were to engage, we could start seeing that fear come up relatively quickly. Now, if the bears do come up, notice we've got some resistance right in here. We first need to start breaking through some of these levels in here in the chart. Now, one thing that would occur if they start turning around right now, just kind of keep in mind that would create a little bit of a higher low here in the chart. And it's those higher lows where we can usually start to see fear really start to creep up and see some expansion there. So far, we have been so uber confident in this market that that's not a worry, and I think the Mag 7 has really been masking the real market here, because as we continue to push the SPY and the QQQ up with just a very small number of stocks, that's really masking the overall selling that's been happening in those indexes. Let's take a look at our T2122, and here's what I'm talking about. Our T2122, while we've been continuing to see SPY and QQQ go higher, well, you can see right here the T2122, the 4-week new high, new low ratio has been in decline. So what we've been seeing is more stocks selling than going up. And although we continue to celebrate and just party hard on those Mag 7s, well, we're starting to see a little bit of weakness showing up here in the market. Now for the bulls, the good news in this chart is we're reaching that bullish reversal zone where we're kind of reaching a short-term oversold condition in a lot of those stocks. And if we were to get down in here, would not be at all surprised to see us catch that relief rally bounce here in the market. The question is, will it have enough energy to really pick back up with some of the data that we've been seeing here in the market? And the fact that, you know, we have priced this market, we haven't turned around yet. We priced the market for 6 rate cuts this year. Now it's beginning to look like we may be lucky if we get even any one rate cut this year. So we've kind of overpriced the market for some of those circumstances, and we'll want to be watching that carefully here overall. So keep an eye on this T2122, and as I say, there's as I mentioned earlier, we are seeing that Mag 7 kind of mask what's really happening here on the majority of stocks selling off, and although we've been making record highs in the SPY and the Qs. Let's take a look at our T2108. And T2108 confirms what we're seeing here in T2122, and that is that the percentage of stocks above the 40-day has continued to fade. You'll notice we've got this little downtrend going on in here, and yes, on Friday we certainly saw a fade. happening in there as that sell-off intensified during the day. And you can see we're well below our 50% area of charts above their 40-day moving average and dropping in here. So possibly, if we have some kind of fear starting to creep up, if we start to see any of those Mag 7 stocks stumble a little bit, then we could continue to see this sell-off intensify. So watch carefully for that possibility. However, if those bulls find inspiration, and they certainly could with some of the data that we have coming, we could finally break this downtrend back to the upside. So can't rule out the possibility. The bulls have been very, very resilient. If we take a look at our T2107, T2107 also confirming those majority of stocks selling off here, percentage of stocks above the 200-day moving average. You can see pulling back here. Now the good news is we're still holding well above that 50% area here on that. So still no major concern here, but that possibility of a little downtrend beginning to come into play. The good news is we also have this little upside trend, so we're kind of holding in this wedging pattern, that possibility that we could find buyer support down in here somewhere and start catching a little bit of relief to the upside in that. If that continues to slip, and if we were to break back down below that 50% here, I'm guessing we're going to see some fear coming into the market. Our T2101 on Friday, I suggested one of the things you don't want to see as a bull is you don't want to see the breadth increase on a sell wave, and that's exactly what we had on Friday. So the sellers came in. Now the good news is this wasn't a real strong increase in breadth. The bears just have been very, very lethargic. It's like they've decided to just stay in hibernation all summer, and bouncing back up here, though, could be a little bit of a warning sign that the bears could be starting to wake up and intensify here a little bit. So watch that carefully here if we were to see more selling and that continue to push on up. What we really want to see if you're a bull is you want to see this increasing on a buy wave. We've been struggling here with that breadth, and I think, again, one of the reasons is there's just a very select few stocks that have been really rallying, and it's pretty hard to indicate that breadth when that is going on. We also know that the CTAs are kind of maxed out on their buying. They can't really do a whole lot more there. They've kind of backed off here a little bit. They haven't really started selling. We'll want to be watching for that. And the other thing to be making note of is corporations are starting to slide into their blackout period for the next round of earnings. Now, they'll just slowly start coming into their blackout period, but that means corporate buybacks and things will start to diminish. So watch that carefully. Let's take a look at our earnings calendar, our economic calendar here for today. Our economic calendar, as you can see, pretty light day today, not much going on here. We've got some bill auctions and a 3-year note auction to be thinking about. Yeah, not much particularly to worry about there. As we slide into Tuesday, we've got an FOMC meeting that will be beginning. We've got NFIB small business optimism. We've got quarterly services report, some bond announcements, and a 52-week bill auction in here. Then we start to ramp up here. On Wednesday, we are going to get our next consumer price index number. CPI number will be coming out first thing in the morning along with those mortgage applications. We're going to have petroleum status number, a 4-month bill auction, and then, of course, the big thing of the day, the FOMC announcement and the Fed press conference in here. We're also going to get that Treasury statement in here as well. So watch for that ramp up of intensity, and that's why we could see kind of light and choppy price action here over the next couple of days as we wait for that big day of data coming on Wednesday. We don't ease up much on Thursday. We get those jobless claims that continue to be problematic for us, and then of course a PPI number coming in as well, so more inflation data. We've got natural gas in there, we've got Williams speaking, some bond auctions, and a Fed balance sheet, 30-year bond auction as well, and then we've got import-export prices, consumer sentiment. Baker Hughes and Goolsbee will be out speaking. Remember, we've got the Fed members in a blackout period where they can't say anything, but you know what happens as soon as the FOMC is over, they're going to start yakking it up big time. So start being prepared for that, and next week expect a lot of Fed speakers coming out. Let's take a look at some stocks, our earnings calendar here for today. And remember that earnings are really starting to tail off here. There's not a lot of notable earnings for today, but we do have a few to be paying attention to. We've got First Solar, or FSEL, not First Solar, will be reporting today, so keep an eye on that. And we've got Lovesac Company that will also be reporting this morning before the bell. So keep an eye on those. It looks like we've got a little bit of a little pre-market selling going here on Lovesac at the moment, and just kind of a little spinning top in here on FSEL. This afternoon, we're going to hear from CVGW as a notable. Keep an eye on that, and YEXT will be YEXT, there we go, will be reporting. Not exactly a market mover, but as close as we can come to a notable here for today. Let's take a look at some stocks that could be setting up for today. But before we do that, everyone, if you guys could do me that quick favor, if this is the first time you've seen these videos, if you could please click that subscribe button on YouTube, and also click that bell icon when it pops up, so you'll be notified every time I post a video. And if you find these videos to be useful or helpful, if you could do me that favor, and that would be click those thumbs up buttons, leave a brief comment. That helps the channel to continue to grow. And thank you so much to everyone who does take the time to share these videos out on your social media feed. Thank you so much. And once again, just a big shout out to those folks who help support the channel through the Buy Me a Coffee link just below the title of the video. Truly, truly appreciate it, and thank you so much for your kindness there. Let's take a look at a few stocks that could be setting up. And remember, guys, these are not recommendations to buy or sell any security. You need to do your own due diligence. Be very, very careful here in this market, realizing that anything is possible. So make sure you're following your trading rules and your risk tolerances. You should never, ever blindly follow anyone else's trade ideas. Well, first off, let's take a look at Rivian. Rivian is something that I am currently holding. It's something that I've been holding for a little while now, all through my vacation, continue to hold. And as a matter of fact, this trade is producing better than a 30% return at the moment, the way I've got it traded. But watch that closely here. We saw a little bit of selling coming in there on Friday. If we were to rest or consolidate this back into this trend, I would be looking for that next opportunity to potentially add to that trade. Watch that closely. Rivian's been hanging in there, coming up out of this bottom, looking good, and we're in what we call that rounded bottom breakout pattern. Now, we rarely ever go in a straight line to the upside, so rest that back into that trend and then look for the next move to the upside there in Rivian if it can continue to come up out of these doldrums and these extreme lows that it's been trading at. Let's take a look at a couple others. Plug is one of those stocks that I kind of keep a close eye on. It is a play on hydrogen energy, and there's been some recent news here on hydrogen, and Plug shot up big time because they made some big sales. And notice that this has come back to test this price support. So coming back, I'm going to be watching this carefully right in here. If we look right across there, there's also that little bit of an uptrend. If this can hold this support with that recent good news and pop up in here, might be something interesting to pay attention to. Watch that closely. Could be an opportunity here. It could also just miserably fail and continue to move on lower. But watch that carefully if we can hold that little upside trend and that little support in the chart. Notice we're trying to kind of hang in there around that 50-day. We've slipped back below it, but we need a little bit of bullishness to come in there, and we would be right back above that 50-day and have that round up on a breakout. So kind of keep an eye on that. And sticking with the P's, I guess, PayPal is another one that you guys know that I've talked about before. Moving in this upside trend, and it's been very, very choppy and very slow and lethargic to get up out of here. But notice we've broken this downtrend and we've held this area as support. We had a good surge last Thursday, and we did try to follow through just a little bit on Friday. What's going to be critical in here is if this resistance is going to hold, that we consolidate this resistance and we pop through. We need to see that resistance break this time. We can't have more of these rejections in here. I think if this does reject, then we could lose this upside trend. So watch that carefully here in PayPal, continuing to show some signs of strength. I think it's worth paying attention to. You might also want to be keeping an eye on Boeing. Boeing coming up out of this bottom. This is one of those industrials that, man, it's just had all kinds of trouble, and I saw that there was some more bad news on it this weekend. Watch that carefully, running into some resistance here in the chart. Rest or pull back in here, needs to hold a higher low. If it can hold in here, consolidate, rest, maybe hang on to this trend. Look for that next opportunity here to maybe pick up some Boeing. Could have some upside opportunity. Watch that carefully. And speaking of those stocks that are industrials and old boring type companies, I think we got to keep an eye here on 3M. You guys know I've been talking about 3M for some time, continuing to show that strength. Friday jumped back up here with some strength again. Old boring dividend payers seem to be gaining a little bit of attention in here. So although we have broken this trend, holding this support is a good sign. And notice right there, just an ever so slight little higher low here in the chart, and we broke that resistance on Friday. So look for that next opportunity here in 3M for a resumption of that upside trend. Looking pretty good overall. And I'm going to say the same about Altria. Altria continued to look very, very good here, holding in there on Friday despite the selling. We've broken through some pretty substantial areas of resistance. That resting consolidation in here, I would be looking for that next upside opportunity, and just start looking for some of those old boring strong dividend pairs, and you're going to see a lot of bullishness showing up here. Take a look at Philip Morris, now resting back toward this trend. I would look for that next opportunity in there. Take a look at Colgate Palmolive. It's come back up. It's dealing with a price resistance here in the chart, but again, just one of those old boring stocks. If it can hold in this area, look for that next opportunity for that to pop through. I'm going to put AT&T in that category as well, trying to break this resistance. Notice on Friday we had a little struggle here. This could fail, but if it can hold these support levels in the chart, old boring dividend companies seem to be coming on strong and looking pretty good. So lots of places you can look for those kind of companies. And obviously they're nowhere near the Mag 7 stocks. We might be seeing a little bit of a rotation into safety as we head into the depths of the summer. So watch that carefully. So with that, everyone, hey, I want to wish you all a fantastic day. Thank you so much for being here. We will be over in the Right Way Options room all day. Remember, guys, we have trials available for you to join us over there. We do education all day and trading all day. So if you have anything that I can help you with, please feel free to stop on over. We'd love to have you come over. Just go to the Hit and Run Candlesticks website and you'll find Right Way Options right there at the top of the page, and you can become a trial member. Give us a shot. So with that, everyone, I want to wish you all the very best. Have a great Monday, and I will see you right back here bright and early Tuesday morning. Take care, everyone.